Welcome to the grand final of Scrapheap Challenge. Yes, it's the big one, where our two top teams of metallurgic magpies plunder the far reaches of the heap to build the ultimate champion contraption.
Our teams will have to throw everything they've got at this challenge. They must create truly Leviathan lobbing machines capable of catapulting these minis through the air. The team who can blast their banger the furthest will be the winner.
First up are this year's Scrapheap champions, the Barley Pickers, a bunch of balmy farmers from Devon. They didn't get bogged down in our marathon of mud and made a real splash with their smooth-riding racer. In the semis, they dished the dirt with their deep-delving digger and sank the opposition in our Destroyer final to claim the coveted Scrapheap trophy.
The super tough opposition in this mother of all grand finals is last year's unbeaten champions, the Catalysts. These three slick Jaguar engineers have thrashed every team that's dared to do battle with them on the heap. And they smashed their way to victory in last year's grand final in our mean and merciless car jousting contest. The Catalysts are the reigning champions of champions, but can they hold on to their title?
Teams, as it's the grand final, we thought we'd come up with something a bit special. This week, we want you to go seriously off-road. Catalysts, Barley Pickers, kiss goodbye to common sense. Reach for those smelling salts, because we want you to build a gargantuan, gravity-defying, car-flinging machine. Yeah! Oh.
Teams, your monster machines must hurl a car skyward. The team who can heave it over the horizon will be this year's grand final winners. Now, it's a truly monster build, so you're going to have a hugely generous 20 hours to craft your car flingers. Barley Pickers, are you ready?
Yes.
Catalysts, are you ready?
Yes! Wait for it, wait for it.
Go!
Let's go! Let's build that car flinger! We're chucking technical consultant Paul Denny into the farmer's yard. An expert in medieval weaponry, he's out to propel the Barley Pickers into pole position.
Helping the Catalysts get any high-flying ideas off the ground is Top Army Engineer Staff Sergeant Richard Little.
Both teams will have to think really big this week, so we're providing a thumper of a crane to help them during their 20-hour bodging bonanza.
Okay, right. Okay, guys, car chucking, okay? Lots of ways of doing it. What we're going to specialise in is using a big ramp and a bit of elastic, okay? So in a bit of elastic, we're looking for a big pair of knickers, basically.
Some elastic.
Tie it all together, and we'll use a bungee and throw this thing as far as we can.
The Catalysts want to send their car into orbit by catapulting it up a big ramp in a homemade trolley. They plan to attach 2 strong lengths of elastic to the trolley and stretch them by towing the trolley down the ramp with a lorry. When it's released, the trolley should shoot up the ramp and crash into the buffers, but the car should carry on, flying off the end of the ramp. It'll be a big build, needing some hefty metal to make the ramp and trolley, and if that elastic snaps, they'll be well and truly scuppered.
What sort of knickers is he talking about?
My plan, should you choose to accept it, is to build something called a trebuchet.
Oh.
Right? It's a type of...
Oh, that's a posh word before we start.
It's a type of medieval catapult. What we've got a huge arm, we've got a sling, and our car goes here.
Here, he looks big in relation to the car.
Yeah. Now, this is the thing with this. It's not difficult, it's not technical, but it's going to be absolutely massive.
The Barley Pickers are going all medieval and building an old-fashioned trebuchet. This is basically a massive framework with a swinging arm. They'll attach a weight to one end of the arm, hoist it high, and then attach the mini to the other end with a rope sling. Then they'll release the weight so that the arm pulls the car up and forwards like a cricket ball being bowled. The farmers will be after some strong metal for the framework and arm, and they'll need a large container and ballast for the weight. They'll also have to come up with a clever way of releasing the car from the arm, otherwise they could end up scoring an own goal.
So what we want is some long lengths of something.
I put down poles.
Poles, that's it, that sort of thing, yeah.
Elastic? Elastic. Loads.
A bed of a trailer.
Trailer bed.
Okay, ready, let's go!
The teams are going to need every minute of their marathon 20-hour bodging bonanza to make the biggest, scariest contraptions the heap has ever seen. And the pressure's on already. Our seasoned scavengers need to get the beefiest bits of scrap they can lay their hands on.
The high-octane catalysts are roping in some king-size box sections of their car-bearing trolley, and they're doing it in their usual super slick style.
Barley picker Robin is checking out some steel girders for their titanic trebuchet. But those city slickers, the catalysts, have seen what's on offer, and they're out to trespass on the country boys' turf.
No. This is ours.
Possession's 9/10 of the law.
No,
There's more of us than there is of you.
Yeah, but I'm stood on it.
We know you're a big lad, but
Shane, we need your assistance with a bit of a ruckus up here over some I-section beam now, because there's a bit of a fight going on.
Reinforcements, fight over the steel. Up to the entrance gate, Andy.
It's a scavenging showdown.
Andy, come on, get yourself over the entrance
come on up with
gate.
us, Keith!
This will do our base in one hit.
And it will be our launch routes in one hit.
To avoid any bloodshed, both teams agree to draw lots for the precious metal.
Hang on, if the stone's in this hand, we get the steel.
you've got to pick the stone to get your first choice.
All right then,
Okay?
I'll go for this hand.
We'll go for that one.
Oh, we've lost it. Oh. Is there a stone in there? There wasn't a stone in there!
You've shaken on it, we win. Well done. Let's go.
It looks like those good-natured rural types have been conned out of their steel joists by the ruthless catalysts. But they're ploughing on in search of a hefty alternative.
Hang on, I got Keith on the dinker a minute. I've stumbled across some telegraph poles. Paul, telegraph poles?
What length are they?
What length?
About 8 yards, 8 paces. What's that? About 24, 25 feet?
Bang on.
He seems to think Paul thinks that's quite a good length, actually.
Those green farmers have decided to go all organic with their frame materials. But will these master welders make good chippies?
Catalyst scavenger Tim is looking for something tasty to transform into a giant ramp.
Right.
It looks like this trailer could make a gargantuan launch pad. And to avoid any more fighting, like all good cats, Tim's marking his territory.
Are you breaking that, young man?
Yeah, we don't want wood. Wood's for farmers.
Yeah. Let hear Robin hear you say that.
You've got a small Norwegian forest here.
Yeah, we have, haven't us? Yeah, that's it.
So you're going for wood?
Well, it's not a choice, but as you know...
Yours is a trebuchet. It's the
It's a wonderful posh word, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like the boys next door are doing an underarm, and we'd be going to like throw cricket balls overarm.
Right.
And you get speed out of that, don't they?
Yeah.
So ours is the best design, isn't it?
You've got to be proud of your poles. I think that's.
Oh, we're proud of our poles, and we're going to be lobbying.
Yeah.
Just a job.
Trebuchets became the height of fighting fashion in medieval times. They proved perfect for flinging plague-infected corpses over castle walls in the earliest known bio-terrorist attacks. Trebuchets don't have much clout in military circles these days, but die-hard fans still love them for chucking household items like typewriters, toilets, and pianos. smashing. Barmy farmer Andy is on frame cutting duty, and somewhat scarily, he's got hold of a chainsaw.
Not bad.
The well-oiled catalysts are making sure the farmers are stuck with wussy wood by nabbing all the metal they can.
And gently down. Fantastic, thank you.
Stunning.
Morning, catalysts.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
You sure you need all this steel?
We need all this and probably a bit more besides.
Oh, yes, definitely.
So it was definitely worth the little bust-up you had with Robin.
Yeah, my ribs are still a bit sore actually.
You really did do anything to get it, though, didn't you? Do you really want to win that badly?
We're not the dirty laydowns that we appear.
No. We're here to win at the end.
We're here
of
to
the day.
win, but yeah, okay, we would do anything.
It's called determination.
We
or
are
something like
determined, yes.
that. And with their sights firmly set on victory, these masters of the heap get their trailer knocked into shape.
Hey, fantastic!
And delivered.
Come on, foot. That's it. Lovely.
This week, bigger is definitely better, so the catalysts want to extend their trailer. But first, they've got to get it in shape.
Which end do you want? Heavy end or light end?
I'll have the light end.
Our country carpenters need to turn their log jam into a sturdy base that can hold the swinging trebuchet firmly in place.
Right! I got him. Go for it.
It's a huge undertaking because at 30 feet square, it'll barely fit in the farmer's yard.
When they told us what we were going to make, I could have fallen through the floor. I just didn't know what we was up to. And I'd never been asked to make something quite so wild as this before. And I haven't got a lot of confidence in what we'd be doing, to be honest. I ain't quite sure whether it is going to work.
Helping us throw caution and cars to the wind is this week's expert, John Roberts. As president of the Institute of Structural Engineers, he was consultant on the massive Millennium Wheel, so he's used to thinking big.
John, we've made big things on Scrapheap before, but never anything remotely as big as this. And we've got a log cabin on one side, and we've got a 10-ton truck on the other. Yeah. I mean, do you think it's even remotely possible they can do it in 20 hours?
I don't know. It's not just big, it's actually quite complicated as well.
Right. Oh.
Because the catalysts catapult, they're going to have to build a trolley to sit the car on top of the trolley.
Yeah.
It accelerates up the slope,
Right.
and at the top of the slope, the trolley is going to have to come to a dead halt, and then the car will just carry on. So I think they're going to have some way of absorbing the energy.
Right.
Because otherwise it's a piece of steel hitting a piece of steel at very high speed.
Yeah. It sounds absolutely lethal, the whole thing.
Yeah, well, it could be quite nasty up there.
And the barley pickers log cabin.
Well, they're going to build something like a big arm like that. And there's going to be a huge weight on this short end. And then they're going to put the car on the other end. So we'll put my helmet on for the car.
There's your car hanging there.
So if you hold that as the hinge, and we drop a huge weight now. There it goes.
There it goes.
But the complication here is designing so that the car comes off the end.
Yeah.
Because if it stayed on there, it would
Keep going. So at the moment then, who's your money on at this very early stage of construction?
Right now, I think I'd have to say that I think
The catalyst
catapult is going along very well.
Right.
Hang on a minute.
The barley pickers have found a skip to hold the 4 tons of ballast they'll need to launch their car.
Pulling in as far as we can pull it.
But now they can see the scale of the project, the nervous farmers want some sturdy reinforcement. They want the steel joists the catalyst stole.
Robin says they haven't picked up the RSJs yet that we was fighting over this morning. What about if I go over and chat them up a little bit?
And we'll sneak out and grab it.
The high-performance catalysts are shooting into the lead with their colossal catapult. But these super cool dudes are unaware that their country cousins are after that steel beam. It looks like this battle to be champion of champions is about to really start hotting up. Whoops. Find out who's playing with fire after the break.
Welcome back to the Scrapheap Challenge Grand Final, where this year's winners, our Devon farmers, take on the reigning champions, the Catalyst, in our most far-fetched challenge yet. Our triumphant teams have to build colossal contraptions that can chuck one of these minis through the air. Whoever lobs their banger the furthest will be this year's champion of champions.
Turbocharged Jag engineers, the Catalysts, are powering into the lead with their plan to build a giant catapult. But they still need the elastic to fire those minis up their steel stairway to heaven.
Rural rednecks, the barley pickers, have foraged a forest of telegraph poles to make their massive medieval trebuchet. But they're fretting that the wood's not tough enough to take the strain. It's time for a spot of poaching.
I can get the steel.
The plan is to nick back that steel the Catalysts stole.
Hello, boys. How are we getting on there, chaps?
While Captain Andy distracts the Catalyst with his rustic charm, Robin gets ready to bring home the bacon.
What's that? What's going on there? Well, I don't know. It's nothing to do with us. No?
That looks familiar.
Hold on a
Gary,
second.
Gary, hang on. Hang
on the back of that?
Hang on. No, Gary, I'm just talking to you. I was just saying about this autograph I could do for my
Look
kid.
who's on the end of
Remember
that.
you said possession was 9/10 of the law?
The country cowboys have finally got down and dirty and rustled the steel they need.
And in a rare moment of gallantry, the Catalysts let the farmers get away with it. Gary and Shane are more focused on crafting the trolley that will carry their mini. It needs to be light enough to shoot up their ramp and strong enough to withstand crashing into the buffers at 70 miles an hour.
It's getting heavier.
And with the trolley well underway, Tim can hunt down some stretchy elastic to launch their car.
The bodging barleys have finally finished their massive base.
If we've done our sums, you should just drop in.
Ha ha!
Not bad.
But now TC Paul wants to scale down the operation.
Now the barley pickers have built a model, which seems like a really good idea. The model of their trebuchet.
Well, scale models they're good in one way,
Right.
but it's actually very difficult to then predict exactly how a full-size piece of equipment will work from a scale model.
Right.
The barley pickers test model is 1/10 the size of their finished Flinger. By multiplying everything by 10, they hope to calculate how far the trebuchet will throw their mini. Sounds simple, but it's not so easy. The timber in their telegraph poles has a different grain and density to the plywood used in their model, so it may not behave in the same way under stress. If they get their predictions wrong, they could totally trash their trebuchet.
Right, here we go.
Let's hope that Paul knows all about the limitations of scale models.
Hey!
Brilliant.
When you say, what, measure it in metres times it by 10?
10, yeah.
45 metres.
45 metres.
Tenacious cat scavenger Tim has found some real booty. This looks like the elastic to me.
This is our elastic. Originally we found this stuff, which we're told is good, but perhaps a bit inadequate. Not really quite the good business.
Really.
But this super fine, super stuff is it.
Elastic fantastic. You're flinging a car with Nicker elastic.
Yeah, very fine and lots of it, with a lot of energy in it. High-powered knickers.
Launching things with elastic might seem a bit crude, but as usual, the catalysts have done their homework. Catapult technology can get planes airborne surprisingly fast, without a long runway. And the US Navy now use steam-powered catapults that can launch jet fighters from 0 to 160 miles an hour in just 2 seconds. Which is fine if you've got wings, but minis aren't renowned for their aerodynamic qualities.
The Barley Pickers trebuchet base is so huge they're dismantling it just to have enough space to work in.
Right, Kev.
Now they can start on the 2 giant A-frames to support the throwing arm. Their stolen steel is perfect for reinforcing the joints on the timber frames.
Is that now in the right place?
And far out. Just the job.
They've got all their materials, but they're facing a monster build.
You was worried about mechanical failure. We'll try and make sure we don't get structural failure.
With more than 9 hours construction time gone, the Barley Pickers have yet to finish even one of their gigantic A-frames.
The cats are cruising. They're crafting a monorail system that will give their Mini a smooth ride up that lorry trailer ramp.
Okay, so this is what it's going to go over, yeah?
Yep, certainly is.
Go on then. How easy does that slide down there? So this is going to end up going like that.
Something like that.
That's good, isn't it?
The catalysts want their trolley to shoot up their launch ramp on a monorail. They'll mount the rail on raised brackets along the ramp. Then they'll weld a metal sleeve under the trolley that'll fit around the monorail and guide the trolley along it. The cats had better make sure it's a perfect fit. If the sleeve is too loose, the trolley will wobble all over the place, and if it's too snug, the trolley could get stuck.
So the catalysts and their trolley that's going to be running along their fixed rails with their slidey tubes is quite hefty, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks hefty. Well, they're certainly going to have to make sure that
Sort
it
of oil it a
runs.
bit.
Yeah, grease it, oil it,
Yeah.
and make sure it really slides up and down on the track.
Yeah.
With as little friction as possible.
Yeah. And who's your money on now then, now that you've started to see it take shape?
Oh well, I'll stick with the catalyst.
Are you going to
at the
stick with the
moment.
catalyst at the moment?
With nearly half of their 20 hours build time gone, the cats are motoring, and Gary's as confident as ever.
It is so good. It's going to be so easy. So smooth, no snags.
But the Barley Pickers have very little to show for 10 hours of tussling with telegraph poles.
OK, teams, your first 10 hours are up.
Hooray! With uncharacteristic generosity, we're letting the teams get some sleep before they resume their monster build.
I do think they're not going to get complacent, though, and think, oh, I've got 2 days, and still get to the end of tomorrow
Oh, they will.
fretting.
You can imagine when we called 3 hours, and there'll be sort of still piles of bits. And in the mad screaming panic the last 3 hours, they'll appear, you know, like they always do.
It's day 2, and the teams have only 10 hours left to complete their crazy car flingers.
You're getting the wrong side, Gary.
It don't matter, does it?
The catalysts are fixing some sturdy wheels to the trolley that will launch their Mini up that huge trailer ramp with a giant bungee.
The Barleys have got to get cracking and knock up that second A-frame fast.
Rubber job.
To ensure a good match, they're using the first A-frame as a template to make up the second.
With the colossal weights involved, the farmer's medieval trebuchet needs some seriously sturdy support. A-frames can bear great loads because triangular shapes are essentially very strong. As they're wider at the bottom than at the top, the load they carry is spread over a greater area, making it more able to take the strain. But if their mammoth A-frames are even slightly mismatched, one side will take more than its fair share of the swinging load, which could lead to catastrophic failure. Worried that their catapult might be dwarfed by the farmer's Flinger, the cats are extending their launch ramp.
Yeah.
Right up there.
And they want everything to be spick and span.
So those boys next door have been sabotaging our kit by putting a bit of an old field in it.
Planting next year's corn in it. Okay.
Shall I hold the pipe on there and you cut round then?
Yeah, try and hold the pipe to it. Ready?
Yeah.
Those farmers are back on track. The A-frames are done, and after a few more welds, they'll be ready to raise their trebuchet.
But these two are the same at the moment. Similar.
Similar,
yeah.
Yeah.
These are a matching pair.
Plus
nearly.
or minus 5 inches.
I tell you what, they'd be strong.
I think they're strong.
They might not match, but they're strong.
Because you've managed to make a wooden frame
And
that is
we've welded
basically
it.
about 50% steel. Good.
Right up top, I reckon.
It's the moment of truth. The Barleys are about to erect their giant 2-story high A-frames and slot the whole gargantuan car-flinging trebuchet together. It's a proper job.
It was pretty big, I mean, when it was on the ground. But when you stand it up, it's just enormous. It really is. If it works, and I think it will, it's just going to go miles.
The catalysts are all set to mount their monorail. But are those support brackets in a straight line? If they're not, that mini will be stuck on terra firma.
So if they're all wrong, we can always adjust them by hammer later on, can't we?
Yeah.
Aligned by laser, adjusted by hammer.
Sounds good.
Excellent, right.
The cats have got completion of the all-important monorail in their sights.
Bit more.
Too much?
That's great.
A stickler for accuracy, Gary doesn't want any errors as it's welded onto the brackets.
That looks very good, Shane.
That's lovely, Gary. Don't panic too.
Got it?
Well, it's fairly frenetic both sides now. Catalyst's getting on very well. They've got their monorail sorted. Have you seen that? That's wonderful.
Well, it's coming along, yes, but they're going to have to be extremely careful in how they fit the rail and the
guide thing, yeah,
to make sure that the trolley can run literally from end to end with as low friction as possible.
Yeah.
Because if it catches on it, it takes up energy.
Yeah. You could also make a real mess of the whole thing with it.
If it really catches on it, yes.
On the other hand, now over here with the barley pickers, there's often said in the past, oh, this is the biggest thing we've ever seen on Scrapheap. We can forget all that. This is without doubt the biggest thing we've ever seen.
Well, one thing's for sure, you couldn't fit anything bigger in there, could you?
So who's your money on now, John?
Well, originally I put my money on the catalyst, but actually I think I'm going to swap and put my money on the barley pickers because it looks fantastic and something is going to happen.
Yeah. Something's going to move somewhere,
Something is going to happen. I'm not absolutely sure what, so I'll put my money on the barley pickers.
4. Does anybody play golf here? Yeah! Let's try that again. And it made it halfway.
That's what happened.
Sorted!
What are you going to use to sort of stop it to actually provide the
At the
Stop point
far
trolleys.
end up there, there's going to be a buffer. A mother of all buffers? Where are they?
A
There-
mother of all buffers.
That is going to be one of the buffers. There will be 2 of those. Put it up the right way. And then there are going to be large blocks of polystyrene, probably about that long, which to decelerate it. Yeah, cushion it.
And have you started doing your elastic yet? Have you got your
No.
micro elastic on the go?
No.
That's last job.
No, elastics when we need to be all clean and no iron filings.
Everything's
and
got to be
grip.
built so we can get
gotta be all-
dimensions precisely right for the elastic.
Do you want to ride?
on it?
Can I?
Yeah.
If I go up there and give it a
Be
push
careful.
from behind.
That's it. Sit right on that caster. Okay.
We'll pull you back.
Imagine yourself like a mini.
So you're a mini, and we're about to launch you into
I'm a mini.
oblivion.
It's like a roller coaster.
We're pulling you back. The elastic is getting tighter and tighter. It's about 3 tons here.
It's about here's 4 tons at the back.
Oh,
isn't
we're
it?
getting up to 4 tons now.
Yeah, pull it.
4 tons! And then suddenly, we let it go, and bang! You go roaring off at fantastic speed.
And it stops and the mini goes...
It stops,
Ooh.
and you go into oblivion.
Fantastic.
The farmers are back on schedule as they brace their towering A-frames into position.
It's all getting a bit out of skew, yeah. You don't quite make the bottom, be about 4 foot.
Oh yeah, let me do the angles you said.
But will a timber-framed trebuchet really support a massive steel arm, a 4-ton weight and a flying car?
Teams, you have 4 hours remaining. 4 hours remaining, teams.
The perfectionist catalysts have spent hours tweaking their trolley. They've got a lot to do, and they're a long way short of liftoff.
You're an animal, Shine.
Find out which of our champions will be sending their minis skywards and which will be left grounded after the break.
Welcome back to Scrapheap Challenge. These minis sit calmly on an airstrip in southeast England, unaware that our teams are battling to build mighty car flingers that will hurl them skyward.
And we're off.
Captains of Cool, the Catalysts, plan to catapult their car up a ramp using elastic bungee power.
We can't believe it either, actually.
But they've yet to make the bungee ropes that will boing their banger.
The height now isn't halfway.
Those country carpenters, the barley pickers, spent 15 hours crafting a 10-ton tessie of a trebuchet from telegraph poles and steel. But they finally found their feet and are forging ahead with their mammoth car-chucking arm.
Right, let's go for it. That's all right, lovely job.
A trebuchet arm is like a giant seesaw, only the pivot point isn't in the middle, but a third of the way along. This is because the farther the car is from the pivot, the greater the thrust it will receive. So the farmers are adding a long sling to the end of the arm and attaching the car to that. It's a nifty way of increasing the length of the arm without adding weight. But added thrust equals greater strain on the arm, so that beam had better be up to the job. The catalysts have realised they'll need a sturdy stand that will raise their lorry trailer to the angle they need for launch.
Are we really seriously going to be able to lift this? I can't lift it.
But they seem to have bitten off more than they can chew.
You hold it, let him knock it.
The beefy stand's too heavy to hold in place while they weld.
It's sliding. This is no good. This is no good.
The catalysts need to lift their ramp to the right angle if they want their Mini to fly any distance. A flat ramp will allow the greatest acceleration, but the car won't gain enough altitude to go very far. But if the ramp's too steep, their elastic won't have enough ping for a proper launch. The catalysts think an angle of 25 degrees will make for the optimum trajectory. If they ever solve their stand problems, that is.
It's very difficult to lift. It's awkward. I don't know how many people we can get in there.
The time factor of lifting and welding at the same time.
Won't fall off that, yeah.
See, I've seen the Catalyst build a lot of machines, and they're always really, really ready. They don't do late. So I'm a bit worried about them now because they're doing serious late now.
I went in to see them, and what they'd done, don't get me wrong,
Oh yeah.
a lovely moving trolley. I had a little ride on it.
Did you?
Very exciting. But I said, so what have you got to do? And a lot of things left to do.
Yeah, we need to go that way a bit.
Finally, with an old tyre and some brute force, the Catalysts get their monster stand welded.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Go, weld! Weld for England!
But they've lost valuable time.
Excellent.
That articulates a business, doesn't it? Look at that.
The Barleys are soldering on. A nice spot of welding is so refreshing after all that woodwork.
We're all a bit on the hot side, King.
And they're doing a bit of last-minute bracing to beef up their trebuchet arm.
Teams, I hate to do this, but you have 1 hour remaining. 1 hour remaining, teams. Thank you.
Right, let's talk buffers.
The Catalysts are hoping for a full stop, in the shape of 2 buffers to bring their mini trolley to an abrupt halt.
These are snug on the back of there. Hang on, can I get it out of here? Yeah.
Okay.
Ready? Go! Come on, push.
Oh, that came off.
You bent it.
All right, yeah, so we need a bit more weld. Don't show that bit.
Oh dear. A botched weld like that would send their mini clean off the rails on test day.
Lost everything, you bust it off with it.
So, I mean, if something's going to go wrong with the Catalyst machine, what do you think it's going to be? I mean,
There's actually quite a lot that could go wrong with it,
Right.
isn't there? I mean, one of the cords could break. And then you've got a big force on one side and not on the other. That's pretty bad.
That's nasty, isn't it?
Supposing the whole trailer falls over sideways.
And it's fully loaded.
When it's fully loaded. Like a catapult falling over sideways.
Yeah.
So there's quite a lot that could go wrong.
That's very good. There's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
So who's your money on now, then?
I think I have to stick with the barley pickers at the moment, because you can see it's almost there.
Yeah.
Hold the very end of it on the centre of the pin.
With less than an hour to go, the Catalysts haven't even started on their all-important bungee ropes.
Beware, this string's a bit stretchy.
Yeah, I know.
Gary needs to accurately measure the length of the trailer to calculate how long the ropes will need to be.
We did it on the table before. From this side.
The Catalysts need to transform their bundle of raw elastic into 2 springy ropes that can buoy their car skywards. Elastic can stretch up to 6 times its length before breaking. The Catalyst trolley has to shoot up 9 metres of ramp. So they're making their ropes 1.5 metres long, which will give them maximum power without the danger of snapping.
If we make the point between the bungees 1 metre 57,
Yeah.
we'll be just short of by a fraction of our 6-to-1 pull, which is our maximum that we can do.
Excellent.
Now, as I feed it round, you can feed it.
The elastic needs to be wound round the pegs 30 times to make the rope strong enough. But Richard needs a gentle touch not to twist it or break any strands.
This is quite delicate stuff, isn't it? The way it's all joined together.
It is actually. It's obviously very strong for what it is.
Yeah.
'Cause the length of the bed is actually about 9.5 metres long.
And what's this? This
is about 1.6.
Right.
So this is going to expand itself back, so it's approximately 6 times, just under 6 times its actual length. If you want to just...
Can I slip that? Can I have the honour of doing that?
Just slip that off of there.
Yeah, I've slipped that off.
Okay. And then just give it a bit of a...
Don't let go. Don't let go. Ah.
we're struggling to even get
Yeah.
it to half its length again.
Yeah.
And you can
If
feel
that-
the strength in that. Okay? Try not to kill you now, Rob.
The moment has come for the Barleys to raise their mammoth arm and skip into position 30 feet above their heads.
That's nearly high enough, boys. That's nearly high enough.
That's him, Terry.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Back this side a little bit. Well, that's it. Proper job.
Let's go up and unhook him, yeah.
Can you hold the ladder?
Yeah, yeah.
Captain Andy draws the short straw to release the holding chain. The skip swings down into loading position.
There's no pressure on it at all now.
All right. Is that high enough for you?
Tomorrow they'll be filling it with 4 tons of ballast to bung their banger.
All right, I'll do.
I think you're going to have to leave a red light on it overnight. Low-flying aircraft.
That has got to be the tallest thing ever built in one of these scrapyards. That's definitely the tallest, and I think we might have the longest. I think we've got a couple of records here. Unfortunately, high is great, but we're after distance.
Oh my life. Partly because, do you know what? I don't like to state the obvious, but this is absolutely the thing enormous. Is this not just the most insane thing you've ever built?
The first dinner time, we really thought wood was all right for 5 minutes, but we don't want to see wood again.
Wood's so slow to join. You have to drill holes and then cut thread bar to the right size. So it just seems to take ages to fix it.
If we'd had some nice box iron, we'd have been finishing in the pub by now. For sure.
We never like to make things easy here on Scrapheap.
No,
do
you
we,
certainly
Andy?
don't. You certainly don't.
Teams, you have 10 minutes remaining. 10 minutes remaining, teams, that's all.
If we pull this back, we can then connect on the last bit.
Don't snag on anything. Okay.
There's tension in the air as the catalysts race against the clock to fix their elastic ropes firmly in place.
Our rubber bands are on.
The farmers are getting all wound up
Sure, he went in there at one stage, didn't he?
Hold on.
in a last-minute rush to get the winch in place to lift their ballast on test day. Teams, you have 5 minutes remaining. 5 minutes remaining, teams.
It's a mad dash to make the finishing touches to their Goliath car flingers.
Come on, Andy, get this last hole drilled.
I think we need to call it, don't
We've
we?
got to call it. Let's just tell them to
Let's
stop.
do
For
it.
goodness sake, they'll just make them bigger if we don't.
5,
4,
3,
2,
1.
Okay, guys! Teams, your time has well and truly ticked by! Down your tools and contemplate your car flingers!
Because tomorrow we'll find out whether your cars achieve a stratospheric trajectory.
Or a premature nosedive into the tarmac! Let's hope not, teams! You done brilliantly well done!
Well done, team! Hey, well done!
It's the mightiest showdown yet. Can the barley picker's big Bertha of a trebuchet really heave a Mini over the horizon? Or will the catalyst slick bungee-powered catapult buoying their banger further? Come back after the break to see some Minis fly.
Welcome back to the Scrapheap Challenge Grand Final, where we're about to find out if our two teams' colossal contraptions can actually send a Mini skyward.
It's time for our teams to put their car flingers to the test. They'll be aiming for a smooth takeoff on our abandoned airstrip, and the machine that propels their payload the furthest wins.
It's a giant-sized course this week to house our team's monstrous machines. They'll each have 2 chances to throw their cars as far as possible down the airstrip. Whoever lobs their Mini the furthest will be crowned the Scrapheap Challenge Grand Final champions. The barley pickers are going to bowl their car overarm with a massive medieval trebuchet.
They'll load the skip with 4 tons of lead, winch it up, and hold it in position with a chain secured by a holding pin. To fire the trebuchet, they'll pull the pin out with a rope. The 4-ton counterweight will drop, pulling the car upwards. When the sling and the arm are in a straight line, the sling should fly off its hook, sending the Mini in a graceful arc. The catalysts want to boing their car off a giant launch ramp. They'll attach elastic to the trolley carrying their Mini and, with a lorry, stretch it right back. When the elastic is at top tension, the stress will break a shear bolt connecting the trolley to the towing chain, and the catapult will fire.
We're giving the teams the customary 1 hour's tinkering time.
Hideously messy.
The catalysts are being liberal with the lubricant, so their trolley has a super smooth ride. Then it's time to prepare for liftoff by raising their ramp 25 degrees.
That looks a fantastic launch platform now. That looks good. Anything over 25 degrees, I'll be happy with that. That looks good.
It looks all shiny and new. It looks like a new thing.
Yeah,
It's like a new
polished it up.
fairground ride.
Yes.
Terrifying. Are you driving the truck then, Richard?
I'm going to drive the truck.
And you're going to drive it not very fast, but a steady
No.
pace.
Going to take away nice and slowly, take
Right.
up the slack within the chain, and
Yeah.
then once we get it, just slowly accelerate through. When I
Right.
hear a big bang,
Yeah.
either the trailer's fallen off or the car's gone that
Yeah.
way. One or the other. Obviously, we want the car to go.
Scary. It's
It's a
scary.
pain.
So you pulled it down, the bolt's pinged. I mean, do you know how it's going to be? Is it?
We think that by the time it gets to the end of the ramp, it'll be doing about 50 or 60 mile an hour,
Right.
which we hope will win us the competition.
Yeah.
The barley pickers are getting into the swing of things. They're lifting the skip so they can fix the release mechanism to the other end of the arm. Then they make sure the kingpin of their operation, the release pin itself, will pull out without a hitch. The final Herculean task is loading the skip with exactly 4 tons of lead. They need to put in enough to throw the car, but if they put in too much, they'll break the trebuchet. But Farmer Andy's taking it all in his stride.
How's morale of the barley pickers? You confident you're going to
Oh,
win?
they think they'll be getting on all right then. It's going to be a fair job, this is.
Is it?
Yeah, he's
You-
going to go so far upwards as he is downwards.
It should be pretty dramatic.
Oh, hello.
You've had a look at the catalyst machine. What do you reckon to theirs?
Fair old tool, that, isn't it? Actually, I reckon he make good trailer for going down home on the farm when they finish with him.
So you're going to nick it and take it back with you?
Yeah, I go to Nicky. He's going home. He's going to haul in bells with it one.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Tinkering over, it's time for these champion contraptions to lob some minis.
Chain into position.
First up are the catalysts. They load their Mini into position and get ready to fire.
Come over this way.
What do you think is the most likely thing to go wrong? I don't mean necessarily disasters, but
Well, the thing that is least predictable is if something jams. If the chain gets caught,
Yeah.
if the bolt doesn't break.
Yes.
That's what worries me.
Yes.
That's why everybody has to be out of the
a long way away.
Over that way, Tim. Okay, Tim. Okay. Right, you're safe to go. Go.
This is so exciting.
What is going to happen, guys? What is going to
I
happen?
have no idea.
Catalysts, you are free to catapult yourselves to victory!
He's about to go. Here he goes. That's the horn. He's off. He's taking up that slack. Slack gone. You're taking out the slack now in the trailer. You're going. Go, 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 go.
Wow, this is so exciting.
Oh, pathetic!
Everything.
Where's the power
Everything
gone?
went wrong.
That was absolutely pathetic.
Oh, the build-up to that was unbearable.
Not exactly what they had in mind.
A link in the towing chain broke before the elastic was stretched under full tension, so the cat's mini couldn't even get off the starting blocks.
Proper job! That's what we wanted to see, didn't it?
Well, we want to see it fly off a bit, Andy.
So it was the chain that broke,
Well,
not the
nothing.
trigger.
Yeah.
And so it didn't release it properly.
The snapping bolt didn't snap, but the chain did.
First, back to the drawing board.
This chain should not have broken before that did. Under any circumstances, even if it was a solid bolt.
That's right.
Yeah.
No way, that was just all
There
wrong.
was a weak link in that chain, clearly. I reckon all we got to do is get over the top now, Andy.
How the net? I don't think I've ever been more tense just before a challenge and then been more disappointed when I saw that little car bounce up and down in a very sad but very gentle way.
I know, it was. It was really, really sad, wasn't it? And the team was so overexcited, and then it just sat there on its little trolley dolly. Oh dear.
It's the Barley's turn to see if they can get their mini airborne. It's a seriously scary moment, as this will be the first time the mammoth skip has been raised with any weight in it, and everyone's wondering whether the trebuchet will bear its 4-ton load.
This is really frightening.
It's a huge weight in that skip, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, if you were standing underneath it and it dropped, I don't think we would see
flat.
it.
You'd be
very
very
flat.
Yeah.
Right. Whoa.
TC Paul and Robin are the brave duo to check the Mini is firmly attached under that mighty skip.
Keep your fingers crossed.
It's coming. It's coming. Honest, it's coming. Okay, barley pickers, you are free to fling to victory. Way!
Absolutely vandalised itself! Oh my goodness.
I just can't believe it.
All that work, but that was awesome.
It was a fantastic.
Oh, guys.
It pulled itself to pieces.
Well, I'm glad I wasn't responsible for pulling the pin.
No.
Beauty.
Come on, let's go and have a look.
I tell you what, Rob, that was a fair old job. Oh,
My goodness.
dear. It wasn't the skip, it was the arm.
It was the arm wasn't strong enough.
The arm just wasn't, man. You can see where we braced it, it was fine, but just a bit on from there it bent. It started to go. The axle sheared off.
Oh, goodness, so he did.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's terminal, don't you?
I don't think we're going to be putting it back together again today.
No.
I think that could be it.
The Barley's launch was never to be. It looks like the arm buckled before the Mini could move. Once the arm bent, all the weight transferred onto the framework, causing its collapse.
If it was a failure, it was a proper failure, wasn't it? Could have been no better.
It may seem a tragic end to 20 hours of hard graft for the Barleys, but so far they're the only team to hurl their car at all, which means our brave farmers are actually in the lead.
So it's still all to play for. If the Cats want to retain their title, they have to successfully launch their Mini this time.
Is that good? That looks good to me.
I've got it. Go on.
They've fitted a stronger towing chain and they're ready to go. Here we go, the moment of truth. Let's hope this time.
I hope so.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Absolutely terrifying, this is.
Okay, Catalysts, fling your mini to victory. We're all relying on you.
You're taking up the slack. You've probably got about 2-3 foot to go. Keep it going steady. Keep going. Keep going. That's it. Keep it going. Okay. Slack is gone, and you're pulling. Go, go, go. That's much tighter.
Fantastic!
That was perfect.
Yeah.
Everything went to plan.
Man in the white coat, how far did that go?
15 metres and 50 centimetres.
So 15 and a half metres?
Oh, man, my throat's sore. We're shouting. I
Well
can't
done,
even...
boys! Absolutely brilliant!
It's an awesome winning throw to rocket the Catalysts into the Scrapheap Hall of Fame, retaining their title as the unbeaten champions.
Come on up, you Valley Pickers!
Well done, Paul. Oh, fantastic job. You all worked much too hard.
Well done, Robert.
Oh, brilliant, mate. Brilliant.
Congratulations. There you go, get your medal.
Fantastic runners-up, the Barley Pickers! Runners-up 2002, fantastic job! Come on up, you champion of champions, you Scraptastic Catalyst!
Well done, mate. Fantastic job. Really good, mate. Well done.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Scrappy champions of 2002, the Catalyst!
There we go, boys!
Fantastic.